Hello everyone, LRon here with part 83 of my Total Terraria World Annihilation. So, in the tail end of the previous video, I was getting into my optimizations of both your time and my time and all that kind of good stuff. Namely the 4 screens gambit, and how that's going to be here to stay until someone actively complains about it, and basically the fact that no viewers are around means that I've got my free pass to keep at it, because no one's in a state where they can complain because nobody's bothering to watch. But in any case, I was originally considering the merits of just concluding the project completely once all of the bricks were destroyed, and then basically going through and taking all the back wall out off camera completely, and have that just be something that briefly gets shown in like a epilogue style video or something along those lines. But I've decided that there is another way. I am going to, well, let's see. So the screens you see before you right now, the 4-screen gambit, how I accomplished this was I basically made 4 separate video tracks, told each of them to have half the width and half the height, and then geographically positioned them in a way such that they would not overlap each other. So, pretty straightforward business. So, when it comes time to pull out the hammer and take out all the back wall, I have ambitions to, instead of cutting the base resolution in half, instead I will cut it down to a third, which will essentially make it so that there will be 9 screens present simultaneously. And then, of course, all of them will be at 4x speed. And so, with that going on, you will be seeing 36 minutes of me playing in a single minute worth of YouTube video. Now, to put this into better layman's terms, in a single 10-minute video, you will be watching 6 hours of me playing Terraria when I have 9 screens going at 4x speed. That is a lot of Terraria, and given the fact that everything will be trivially boring at that point, having it be condensed to that degree, and basically, affirming that I am actually still doing it all 100% legitimately, is going to be beneficial to everybody. The only downside that I could possibly foresee is the fact that I don't think my solid state can handle that much video at once. So I'll have to actually depend on my external hard drive for rendering purposes. But I am willing to make that sacrifice for the greater good. Because, let's be honest, with 6 hours being condensed into a single video, that would have to mean that there would only be like 1 to 2 videos to do the entire thing. So even if it is painfully boring of a procedure, um, basically going and knocking down all the walls, at least there wouldn't be that much to actually watch. So, this is going to be great. I will be completely honest, I did not crunch out all those numbers until just now, but I have been thinking about that particular gambit for up to a week now, and when I did finally sit down and crunch the numbers just now, I started to drool. It's like, really? 6 hours for one video worth? Yeah, sign me up. I mean, at this point, it's kind of difficult to resist the temptation to just do that for the rest of my cohorts, anyways, and basically not worry about a lack of visibility since it's all going to be same old, anyways. But I don't know. I might play around next cohort with the screen sizings, not committing to anything, of course, but just create a dummy track to just see how much smaller it ends up being, how imperceptible it ends up being. Because these 4 screens, once rendered, ended up being pretty good. I mean, you can't really read the various texts within the game too easily. Like the various statistics on the cell phone under the map. You can kind of understand it if you squint and go full screen, but for the most part it's kind of gibberishish. I went back over to YouTube and took a look at one of my final products with this 4-screen gambit, and I had a vague idea of what time it was and didn't really want to bother straining my eyes on the rest of the stuff. I'm sure someone can read it, and probably I could if I didn't have a headache right now, but I don't want to feed into that headache presently. So that kind of has a good idea of how illegible the text is at this point. But generally speaking, the actual, meat of the stuff is still very much visible, so that's still good. So I might play around and make a dummy video that's super short and has one of these divide the resolution by 3 things and basically overlay it on top of one of these divide by 2s and see how big of a difference it ends up making in terms of understanding what's going on. But that is certainly not a project for right now, because I am in the middle of a cohort now. So I'll save that fun little experiment for later, and I'll likely report the results in the next cohort. But we're out of time for this video, so I will see you next video.